Today we'll be reviewing the Seiko Kinetic Landmaster. Seiko's Japanese domestic market Landmaster series has been around since 1993. Before that, they released the Fieldmaster SBDW005 in 1984. The Fieldmaster was derived from the popular H558 Arnold watch. Its unique features include a polyurethane-covered caseback to prevent frostbite, which comes in handy since it was tested to be usable at minus 40 degrees Celsius in Antarctica. You'll also note that it has ground-to-air emergency codes on the chapter ring. This would help a stranded explorer communicate with a rescue aircraft. Almost a decade later, the Landmaster line was brought out. The first model was stainless steel and had an early kinetic day-date movement. All subsequent models were titanium or ceramic titanium and now had a GMT/24-hour hand. The day wheel was also removed. There have been at least 8 different versions produced, many of which were custom designed for a specific expedition. For what it's worth, the switch to Kinetic was viewed as an upgrade from the regular quartz batteries as far as extreme temperatures are concerned. The watch being reviewed today is a first-generation titanium Landmaster. It uses the less reliable 5M45 kinetic movement that typically needs a new capacitor. The Gmt Hand works just like in a Rolex Explorer 2, as shown in the following video. Pulling the crown out to the first position allows you to rotate the local time hour hand back and forth in 1-hour increments. This is ideal for traveling or seasonal time change. You have to turn the hour hand 24 hours forward or backwards to change the date. It is not a quick-set mechanism, and that is the main drawback of this setup. As the dial says, this is a one-piece case, which means that there is no case back. Servicing requires the bezel and crystal to come off in order to access the movement. The main advantage to this is that there is one less potential point of water entry. Also note that the personal data entry spots are on the back. They are in case things don't go so well during your mountaineering expedition. As you can see here, the titanium bezel is quite detailed. It and the rest of the watch is made by a process called metal injection molding. Basically, you have liquefied titanium that's injected into a hollow mold to form the parts. Also, the bezel is quite tall relative to the crystal, which helps protect it. You can tell that this is a first-generation Landmaster by the dial. It can keep a power reserve of 7 days, hence the 7 days on the dial. The newer model has an upgraded kinetic movement and can hold a power reserve of 6 months, hence 6 months are on the dial instead. Incidentally, the pusher at 2 o'clock is depressed to check the power reserve. The Gmt hand can also be used as a rough solar compass, if it and the local time hand are synchronized to the same time. To do so, you lay the watch on the floor, such that the Gmt hand is pointing at the sun. When that happens, that means that the 12 o'clock position will be pointing north. I'm way too much of a city slicker to ever need this, but I guess you never know in these crazy times. Here you can see that the luminous material is more than adequate, though oddly enough, the Gmt hand does not glow. Dimension-wise, the watch is 43 mm wide without the crown. It is 13 mm in height due to the tall bezel, and you should keep in mind that there's about a 1 mm difference between the crystal and the edge of the bezel. The lug-to-lug length is 47 mm, and it weighs 100 grams with the bracelet sized for a 6 3/4 inch wrist. Here you can see the Landmaster along with its brother Scuba Master and Flight Master watches. They are absolutely amazing, and I plan on reviewing the others when I have a chance. I used Seiko designer Ikuo Tokunaga's The Story of Evolution on the Special Watches of Seiko as a reference. Please note that these watches would not exist without him. As for my conclusion, I think this is a hidden gem in Seiko's collection. It's a purpose-built tool watch that has, in one form or another, been to the 7 highest peaks in the world. As an added bonus, it's lightweight and comes in various colors and ceramic iterations. The Kinetic is a bit of a pain to keep charged if not worn regularly, but it's not quite so bad with the upgraded 5M65 movement, or at the very least a new capacitor in the 5M45. There's also a Landmaster Summiter that measures altitude and barometric pressure, but I don't think it's nearly as unique as the GMT series. With the yen being as weak as it is, I think it would be a worthwhile addition to any collection. And as usual, thanks for watching the videos, and be sure to check out interestingwatches.com for more information.